Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Business of Becoming podcast. I'm your host, Lori Kennedy, and this is episode number 58. And today we are tackling one of the most asked about topics, regardless of how far along you are in your business building journey. Today we are talking about fees, more specifically, how to know what to charge for your program, course, or service package. This is a big topic and one that I could talk about for hours and hours, maybe even days, because there are so many layers as to what you could or should charge. Everything that I mention in today's show can be found over at the show notes at thatwbh.com/58. This is a big topic, so without further ado, let's dive into today's show. Over the years, I've had so many different price points for my offerings, and at this point, no price point shocks me. I've seen offers for $1, and I've seen offers to join a mastermind for $100,000, which, when I saw that, which was pitched by a woman, no less, I was ecstatic because it kind of broke the glass ceiling for me and made me realize that the actual dollar value, the price point itself, is irrelevant. You can charge whatever you want, and people will say yes if they feel that the offer will help them get what they want, even if they can't afford it at the time. And of course, if you're throwing out a premium priced offer, you gotta have the goods to back it up. And I hope that that goes without saying. Since this is a big topic, I'm gonna break it down into sections for you. First, we'll talk about why you get price objections. Then we're gonna talk about your offer. Then the actual transformation, so the value of what you're offering, what your time is worth, and then I'm going to give you a way for you to price your offerings. Sound good? Okay. So tell me, does any of this sound familiar to you? Oh, I didn't realize you'd be that expensive. Or, I'd love to work with you, but I just can't afford it right now. Or, I missed the deadline by a day. Can I still get the discount? I really want to do it, but I just need to talk to my spouse. Or, I would love to, but I just can't afford it right now because I need to get a new car. Our dog has huge vet bills. We're going on vacation. Do you have a lower priced way to work with you? Oh, there's a fee? Oh, I guess I'll just stay in your free Facebook group for now. Does any of those sound like a conversation you've had with a potential client recently? Maybe you ended up feeling uncomfortable and like you were charging way too much for your time. Or did you end up giving away your help for free because you wanted to be of service to your client and because you're such a nice person and you felt bad for charging them? If you want to know what to charge for your signature program and service packages and how to close a sale without feeling yucky or salesy, then make sure that you listen to the end of this podcast. Setting the fee for your signature program and service packages can bring up a whole host of questions, insecurities, and self-worth issues, and it's important to recognize them and address them before you set your prices. I mean, we could probably talk about money blocks for a month straight, and it's those sort of undiagnosed money blocks that are going to literally stop you from charging an appropriate rate. So let's talk about why setting a fee structure is so challenging, and then we'll move into the tips so that you can confidently set your fees. It's possible that setting a fee, any fee, but especially a premium priced fee to work with you, it's possible that it feels yucky because this is your passion and it comes easy to you at this point in your life. I'm going to assume that it didn't always come easy to you, but you are no longer your ideal client avatar. And so because you supremely value your health and you likely, at least I hope, have whatever it is that you're teaching down pat so that it feels like second nature to you, and because you would likely do this for free if you could. So it's possible that it feels yucky to you because you think, well, this is easy. So why would people pay me hundreds or thousands of dollars to have me help them? The thing is, it comes easy to you. It doesn't come easy to your potential clients, which is why they need to invest in working with you. Or maybe charging a premium price feels uncomfortable for you because at this point in your journey, you don't have any, or if you do, you have minimal client experience and you don't feel confident that you can get results for your paying clients. So therefore you believe, because you don't have that experience, that you shouldn't charge a high amount to work with you yet. Or maybe you have been in business for a while and your fees are what would be considered, high ticket or premium, and you want to increase your fees and you're feeling like you don't necessarily have the testimonials or the client success stories to back up the price increase. Or maybe you don't believe that anyone will pay a premium price for your program because there is so much free information out there. So why would they pay you $1,000, $1,500, $5,000 to work with you when they could just Google instead? So these are the most common reasons why it feels literally uncomfortable in your body. You get this nervous feeling, you revert back to, am I any good? Will people pay me? These are the most common reasons why it feels so yuck to set any price, let alone a premium price for your program and service. And everything that I just mentioned has everything to do with mindset. Nothing to do with the actual dollar amount or what people are used to paying or what they actually will pay or what the market demands. Everything that I just talked about has everything to do with your feelings about yourself and the transformation that you can provide and the value of that transformation according to the person paying for the program. And so here's a mindset switch for you. It's not your responsibility, nor is it your decision to make whether or not your ideal clients can afford you. So let me say that again. It's not your responsibility to decide for your prospective client whether or not they can afford to work with you in terms of setting your fees based on what they can afford or not afford, or what they will pay for or won't pay for. And it's certainly not your responsibility to decide for them before you even invite them into transformation. I hear so many, scripts like this. Well, will anyone pay for a $997 program, $997 program? What if no one can afford it? I'm pretty sure no one's going to pay for this. You're making decisions for people based on your own insecurities, is really what it comes down to. And that's irresponsible of you as a practitioner. You're making assumptions based on your own lack of confidence because you don't have much experience as to what people will or will not pay for. People buy things they can't afford all the time because having that thing makes them feel really good. That thing that they just purchased that they can't really afford satisfies a surface level desire. It's really none of your business whether or not they can or cannot afford you. Your job is to make sure that they know about you, that they understand that their pain, whatever it is that they're suffering from, is part of a larger problem, a root cause, and that you and you alone have the answer to getting rid of that pain. When they believe that you have the answer, and more importantly, feel that your answer, that your signature system is the only thing that will help them get rid of the pain, and secondarily to that, go on to help them achieve their desired outcome that they desire, that they want, the price point becomes irrelevant because they just have to have it because they don't want to live in pain anymore. And sometimes it's not even that they don't want to live in pain anymore. It's the surface level desire. It's, I just want to feel this way. I just have to have this. If that emotional pull towards the thing that they want is strong enough, the price point really does become irrelevant. I mean, let's just give some examples. People line up for hours to get a new iPhone because it's cool. You know, their old phone, there's nothing wrong with it, right? They want a bell and whistle or whistle that didn't come with their old phone. Really, like, there's nothing wrong with the phone, right? Or paying, for, $150 for yoga pants, right? People pay that no problem because it makes them feel a certain way, right? While I completely understand how uncomfortable it might feel to charge a premium price for your signature program, the one thing that I want you to know is that money is just energy. And if you're giving out 10 times the energy because that is just who you are, but if you're giving out 10 times the energy than what the client energetically is investing in terms of a price point, you are going to feel burnt out, you're going to feel broke, you're going to feel annoyed, and you're likely going to start to resent your clients because you're giving so much and you're not getting equal in return. And so one of the things that my business coach taught me a long time ago is that money alleviates pain. If you are pained by your business because you aren't making a sustainable living, if you can't pay your bills, right, then it's likely because you're not charging a fee that feels equal to the energy that you're giving. And I get that when you're just starting, you might have this mindset that you have to put in your time until you can increase your fees, which sort of has some truth behind it. However, you still have to feel that give and take, right? If you're giving 10 times more than what the client is paying, they're also going to feel that disconnect, right? And you can't give your clients your all if you're running on empty. So let's go through some things to think about before you set your prices. So the first thing that I want you to think about is, what is your program offer? What is an offer? The offer is what the program consists of. It's really the features and the associated benefits to having each of those features. So it's important for you to understand what your program consists of before you choose a price point, because the more involved you are personally, right? The more time you give into your program, into your clients, the higher the fee structure or the value of the program is. So make a list, literally make a list of what's included and what your time involvement is. So some questions. How many live coaching hours are you investing? Are you delivering the program live every week? Like, are you live teaching or is it automated? Are you doing live coaching in terms of weekly Q&As? Are you doing group coaching? Are you delivering any bonuses live, right? What is the pre-recorded automated time versus live time? Are you giving bonuses that have, one-on-one coaching calls, right? Are you doing one-on-one coaching calls in addition to perhaps, group coaching? So I want you to make a list of every single component that makes up your program offer. So the modules, are they being delivered live or are they pre-recorded? Any type of meal plans, recipes, follow along videos, coaching hours. You have to know each and every single component, and then you can assign a dollar value to that, right? So if most of your program is automated and you're not really involved in that, so they would enroll in your program and then the entire program delivery is automated. Either they get access to the entire program and all of the teaching materials and resources up front, or you drip it out over a number of weeks, and all you're doing is participating in the Facebook group and doing like a weekly group coaching call. That's very different than if you were to live teach every week, if you were to do one-on-one coaching calls and all of that good stuff. So you need to determine before you can set your price what your live time investment is, because people will pay more to have contact with you versus a program that is, let's say, 90% automated, where you're not even in the Facebook group, you're just showing up every week for a group coaching call. So one is not right, one is not wrong, one is not better, one is not worse, it just is. So in order for you to appropriately price your program, you first need to know what is included in the offer and how many hours are you going to be showing up live. And then I would even add to that, how many hours are you going to be working behind the scenes to then support your clients? So that's something to think about right off the hop before you pick a program price, because the more live FaceTime you have with your clients, the higher the fee should be. Then the next thing that I want you to think about is, what is the transformation your program or service promises? So in other words, how valuable is the outcome to your clients? How badly do they not want to have whatever pain it is anymore? How badly do they want to feel better? So you think about it this way. If it's like, a little tiny, teeny annoyance that they have, they likely won't feel the value of the transformation as strongly or place as much importance on the absence of pain and the transformation as if it was something, critical in their life that was affecting their life all day long, every single day. So if your niche, for example, is digestive issues, what does it mean to the client for them to be able to break up with the toilet, right? What would it mean to them to stop worrying and obsessing and having anxiety about having to run to the bathroom at embarrassing moments? If you're a fertility expert, for example, what does it mean to your client to know that they are getting a step-by-step system that gives them back control so that they can feel like they're doing everything that they can do possible to maximize their chances of having a family? What is the value of that? And I think too, going back to what I said at the beginning of this podcast, we forget, because it's so second nature to us now, how valuable the solution that we've created is. How much money would a client pay to have that solution, right? And you might not have any idea what the value is. Go and ask, right? Go find 10 or 15 of your ideal clients and say, if I could get rid of your acne in 12 weeks to the point where you would likely not have a flare-up again if you did what I said, how much would that be worth to you? Would you be willing to pay $2,000, $5,000, right? Like, I think we undervalue what we have because it feels so simple to us and it feels so second nature. However, we are no longer our ideal client. So please keep reminding yourself of that what you have to offer is life-changing. And life-changing shouldn't be $27, right? So think about how much time and money and energy you're saving your client by working with them. And let's flip this on its head in terms of what is the dollar value of the transformation. What would it cost if they didn't work with you? What would the cost be from a mentality standpoint, from a time standpoint, from an energy standpoint, from a health standpoint, if they chose to do nothing? What would it cost them from a life, happiness, well-being standpoint, right? So I want you to spend time really thinking about the value from a dollar perspective. How much money has your ideal clients paid in the past for solutions, right? I used to work my nutrition practice was in weight loss. And so my ideal client was typically a perimenopausal woman who had spent the last 20 years dieting. And I would ask them, what have you done in the past? And a lot of them would say to me, they did Weight Watchers. In Canada, we have something called Dr. Bernstein, which is a minimum $3,000 investment. And essentially, it just drops them down to 500 calories and gives them B12 shots so that they have energy, which is, I think, kind of a scam. However, right, a lot of people did that other thing. Oh, I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's a very similar diet where you like drop your calories and you take these remedies and it like makes you not hungry. And then you put all the weight back on because no one can survive on 500 calories. And so my ideal clients paid anywhere from like $5,000 to $10,000 over the years to try and lose weight, which obviously didn't work because they ended up in my office. Not to mention all the pharmaceutical drugs that they would have to pay for because they would have high blood pressure or whatever the case may be. And so I want you to think about that, right? Think about how much money they've already spent. What are the typical sort of trendy solutions out there and how much do they cost? What is the cost? I always used to think like, what's the cost of liposuction, right? A lot of my clients, that was something that they really wanted to resort to was a tummy tuck or liposuction, which, was a 6 to 8 week recovery and it cost thousands of dollars and like it just maybe wouldn't even work. They would displace the fat. So what is the transformation that in dollar values that you offer? How much do clients already pay for this? What would they be willing to pay if you handed them this, 8 week or 12 week or 6 month solution? Then I want you to think about what you are worth. So this is where we could get into a whole host of problems in terms of money blocks, because I don't know about you listening. I know for me, when I first started my nutrition practice, I had no idea what I was worth. It didn't occur to me that I was worth anything. It occurred to me that I had this, super secret knowledge that I thought everybody would want. That's not the case. No one was beating down my door for the first 2 years. And it never really occurred to me that, part of what I was selling was me. I just was like, oh, this is how you get rid of candida, or this is how you fix your digestion. You do this, 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 and this. And I didn't understand the support that came with it, the accountability that came with it, the love, the compassion, the coaching should have been worth a dollar value. We put so much emphasis on the meal plans and the Facebook group and, the follow along videos that we forget to assign a dollar value to us, to the support, the accountability, the caring, all of that good stuff that comes along with working with you. And I'm going to say it again, we undervalue ourselves because it feels natural to us. A lot of us are, caregivers. A lot of us love to teach. We love to be of service. We love to coach. It feels like second nature to us. We want to help our clients. We want to see them succeed, so much so that usually it's to our own detriment. So it's really hard to place a personal value on what we charge. And that's why it feels yucky and salesy for so many of you in the alternative health world to charge, because what we are worth feels so easy to us that we undervalue ourselves. However, this isn't a hobby, and just because this is your passion and just because it comes easy to you doesn't mean that it should be given away basically for free. You are running a business, and there are business expenses and salaries and all of that very grown-up professional stuff that comes along with growing a profitable business. And if you want to have massive impact on the world, you need to be able to afford to keep the lights on. So in terms of assigning worth, which even as I say that feels so weird because it's like assigning worth, like who determines what your worth is? Well, here's some ways. So think about the time commitment that you're putting in. We just talked about that in terms of what is the transformation that your program offers and what is the actual program offer. So what is the time commitment that you're putting in? Think about the support that you might need to hire to help you run your business. Make a list of all of your business related expenses and think about how much money you want to make per month or per year in exchange for transforming lives. What is your hourly rate? So this is a hard one for most people because that goes right to the money block and the trigger of, what am I worth as a person per hour? And at the beginning, your hourly rate will be reflective of how you feel about your skill set, about your ability to transform lives. You will not necessarily charge as much as someone who's been doing this for years and years because you don't have any frame of reference. You don't have the knowing that it will work and that you are super good at what you do. So for example, when I first started business coaching, I was charging $97, which looking back is, can make me laugh now. This was 6 years ago, 5 years ago. And now I don't even do one-on-one business coaching because no dollar amount at this point would be worth it for me in terms of my investment, my time, and stuff like that. I've found another way to do it so that I could even leverage my time, because one-on-one coaching, there is a limit to what you can do. However, if I was to put a rate on it, I would not get on the phone at this point with someone. If I wanted to get on the phone with someone, it would be likely for $1,000. Because that's what I value my time at right now, right? For me to spend an hour plus follow-up plus answering questions, an hour is never just an hour. I wouldn't do that for less than $1,000. And if someone, felt that I could help them, I know that the fee is equal to the transformation, and I would feel no issue at all about saying, sure, you want to get on the phone? It's $1,000, right? Because I know what I'm going to tell them is going to 10x the return for them if and only if they actually take action on what I'm saying, right? So think about how much your time is worth, right? Maybe it's worth $150 right now. Like I said, I started at $97, right? Maybe your time, your hourly rate right now is $150. So if you're going to be doing 10 live group coaching sessions, that right there is $1,500 worth of your time. Not to mention the time that you're going to be in the Facebook group, the time that you're going to be answering questions. So really, truly think about what your hourly rate is. And let's not worry at this point how you're going to sell it. Don't worry about that. That's learned, right? That's a learned script. That's a learned webinar. I'm going to say that's the easy part. I know it doesn't feel easy at the moment, but don't worry about how you're going to sell it or if anyone's going to be willing to pay for it. And please, if that voice in your head is like, you're never going to be able to convince anyone of that, let's just get rid of that word convince right now. It's not your job to convince anyone of anything. It's your job to invite them into transformation. And there is a specific way to do that. So I want you to think about your hourly rate in terms of dollars. Then I want you to think about how much do you want to make every month? Like in terms of revenue, and then even taking that one step further, how much do you want to put into your bank account? How much do you want to pay yourself? If your goal is to quit your full-time job, how much money do you need to personally have in your bank account every month in order to replace your full-time income or your part-time income or move out of your parents' house or do whatever it is that you want to do? What is that number? So I know for me, I know my numbers very, very clearly. I know what I needed in my bank account every month. So before I closed my nutrition practice, I knew that I needed to be able to pay myself $7,000 a month every month. And I made a deal with myself that when I did that with my business coaching business, 3 months in a row, that felt secure enough for me to be able to effectively close my nutrition practice. I didn't just quit it. I did both for 2 years. And it was only after 2 years of doing both that I had those types of months where the business was generating enough that I could pay myself and also, support the business in terms of its expenses and its growth. And so what are those numbers for you? Like, let's get really clear on this, right? How much money do you need to pay yourself every month? And how much money does your business need to make total in order for you to pay yourself that and to keep the lights on and invest back in your business? Why is this important to know? Because I don't want you arbitrarily just picking a fee, and I don't want you settling for selling a $27 detox, because believe me, like, it takes just as much energy to sell a $27 program than it does to sell a $1,500 program. And so only when you know your numbers and you get really familiar can you confidently pick a price point that is your, let's say, starting price point or your middle of the road price point, and work up to charging the amount that you want to charge that's going to give you that, let's just use the word, financial freedom, right? What is the number that it's going to take for you to have, quote unquote, beginner's financial freedom, quitting the job, moving out, whatever that looks like for you. And so I want you to sit down and get really familiar with your numbers. And only then can we move to the pricing framework. So it's hard for me to actually give you pricing suggestions because they're really subjective. So I'm going to give you a basic framework before I touch on pricing, like how to actually pick a price point, because a lot of people, what should I charge for this? And in order for me to, be responsible as the coach, we have to go through all of these things. What's the offer? What's the transformation? What's your time worth? How much money do you want to make? So here is a basic framework so you can have a point of reference to fall back on when you're actually picking your price point. So there's low price points, medium, high, and then like super premium price points. So in my opinion, a low price point for a program would be under $500. Medium would be $500 to $1,000, and high would be $1,000 to $1,500. And then premium would be anything over and above $1,500 for, let's say, a 12-week program. I'm not talking about a 10-day detox. I'm not talking about that. You can have 10-day detoxes, and that's totally fine. You can have a 21-day program, but that's not going to pay your mortgage, right? At this point, and in this current, at this point of recording, the way that the health industry is, especially online, it takes just as much time and energy and investment to sell a $27 program than it really does to sell a $1,500 program. So yes, people can sell super low priced programs as a point of entry, but that's not where I would focus my time and energy. I would focus my time and energy on your signature offering. What is the thing that is going to, at 80% of your revenue, pay your bills? And again, pricing is subjective because it really does depend on all of the things that I just talked about: the program, the offer, the transformation, your business expenses, your personal time involvement. All of those things have to be considered when picking a price point. So when it comes to pricing your program, that is, the low, medium, high, and premium price points. You can also offer a paid in full option and then a monthly payment plan to give people a bit more leeway when it comes to saying yes. What I will say is that the actual price that you charge is rarely the reason someone says yes or no. They use the price as a way to gauge how they feel about the value of what you're inviting them into. So if you're getting price objections at any level, even at the $27 mark, I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, it's a no-brainer, it's $19, it's $27. Doesn't matter, right? If you're getting price objections and your offer isn't converting, it's likely not because it's not expensive or too expensive. The dollar value has nothing to do with it. It's the dollar value against the feeling of, I need this, and this is the only thing that's going to work for me. And so I don't care how much it costs. I need this, and I need this now, right? It's the urgency, it's the desire, it's the benefit, it's the need to have this solution now. When that need is equal to the price, you get a yes. When you can't, or when you're having a hard time communicating that, you're gonna get matched up with an objection. And that's just the truth of it, right? So before you go and freak out, if your stuff isn't converting, before you go and freak out and think, oh my God, I'm charging too much and I can't possibly charge this much, go and learn how to sell. Because that's likely the problem. The actual dollar amount isn't the problem. It's not having an ideal client that matches the offer, or it's not being able to confidently communicate and sell what it is that you're inviting them into. Okay, so that's a framework for pricing. Now we're going to move into how to actually choose a fee, how to pick a price point for your offer. So now that you know it's not your business to decide for someone if they should invest in health, or if they can or cannot afford to work with you, or that the dollar fee you charge is the decision maker, let's figure out how to decide what to charge. So I'm going to give you a formula, but before I do that, here's some things to think about. When picking a price point, think about the kind of clientele that you want to attract. It's like the price reflects the level of commitment and determination, because when a client makes a significant financial investment, that typically, not always, but typically, equals a client who is super serious about getting results. The more skin in the game, the more committed the person is. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. It takes just as much time and energy and effort to put together and sell a $27 program than it does to sell a $997 program or a $1,500 program. You might not realize it now, but it's true. Trust me. So if your goal was to make $5,000 a month, you'd need to sell 185 $27 detoxes or 5 clients at $997. Which would you rather? And the last thing to think about is picking a fee that you can say out loud without a change in your voice or energy. If you don't, your client is going to feel the shift in your energy. They're going to feel your hesitancy and uncertainty, which will make them uncertain and hesitant. You know what I mean. You're super confident, you're talking about your program, and you get meal plans, and you get recipes, and you get this, and you get that. And then when it comes time to make the ask, you're like, and my program is $997. Is that okay with you? You know, and your whole energy changes. You like shrink down in the chair, you can't look them straight in the eye, right? You have to be able to confidently invite someone into transformation and say the price out loud without your tone changing, without your energy shifting. And that will happen over time, right? That will improve over time. So when you're picking a price point, pick a price point that you can say out loud without your energy changing. And you can always increase your fees as you gain experience and confidence. But remember, if you charge too little, even if you're just starting out, your clientele won't believe in or be as committed to doing the work. So 2 things to think about before we actually go through the pricing formula. So there's 2 ways to do this. The first way, I could just say to you, pick a price point. Just say it out loud. How does it feel? If you feel confident about the price point, great. Charge the price point. If you can say the price point out loud without your energy shifting, that's what you charge. And then you go and put 10 clients through your program at that price point. And believe me, you will quickly be like, oh my gosh, I am totally undercharging for this. And that alone will give you confidence to increase your prices so that you can then say the higher price out loud with confidence, knowing that you are charging your worth, right? That you are charging a dollar amount equal to the transformation. The second way is to reverse engineer based on the amount you want to generate in your business per month. So let's take that $5,000 example that I gave you just before and work with that. So how does it feel to charge $997 with the goal of 5 clients per month, right? Because we need to be able to say the price point out loud without our energy shifting. And so if we say we're going to use the reverse engineer strategy, it's like you determine, okay, I want to make $5,000 a month. Well, if I'm focused on selling my signature offering, which is what you should be focused on selling, if I'm focused on this, what's the price point I should charge? Given my time, my energy, the value of the transformation, all that good stuff that I just went through. Can you confidently invite someone into this program and charge $997 a month, right? 5 clients a month at $997, you'll hit your revenue goal. Or because you're just starting out, does $497 feel better to you? So then you'd have to get 10 clients per month. So when you think about it like that, I know for me, 5 clients, right? I want 5 clients. I would even go after the one sale, right? Charge $5,000, make the program amazing, and then you have 1 client, right? So, or even, $2,500 and you need 2 clients, right? So you can think about it that way. Always start with the amount of revenue that you want to generate in your business and work backwards. So if you wanted to make $20,000 in your business, it's going to be really hard to do that if you're selling a $197 program, because then you need an extraordinary amount of leads. You need to have a high converting program or high converting, let's say, sales conversation, versus if you sold a program for, let's say, $1,500, right? $1,500, you would need 12 clients, 12 and a half clients, right? In order to do that, which would likely mean that you would need maybe 20 to 25 sales conversations per month, which is 5 per week or 4 per week or whatever it is. I'm doing math on the fly, so please don't judge me. If you're listening to this and you're like, Laura, your math is way off. I know. Math is not my strong suit. However, that's how you have to think about it, right? It's like, if I want to make $20,000 a month and I'm selling a $1,000 program or $1,500 program, how many sales conversations do I need? And then if my closing rate is 50% and I need 10 sales, you need to have 20 conversations, right? How many per week? So in order to set the fee and to be able to know what to focus on, we have to know that end game, right? How much revenue do you want to bring into your business every single month? And it's always easier to work with less clients at a higher price point than more clients at a lower price point, because the lower price point usually equals a lower level of commitment. The more skin in the game somebody has, the more higher level commitment they're going to make. So here's the truth. Your pricing is going to shift over the years. Remember I said when I first started business coaching, I was charging $97, right? Confidence in charging what your time is worth comes with experience. And as you settle into your role as CEO and business owner, and as you start to work with clients, you're going to want to keep refining your pricing. There are tens of thousands of people out there and they are in pain and they are searching for you. So, just pick a price point that you're comfortable with for now and just get out there. Start having those sales conversations, right? Start improving your offer communication. Start learning from the objections. Because believe me, the more times at bat you are with your business and your offer, the quicker you're going to want to raise your prices. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope this gave you some things to think about and a really structured way for you to be able to know what to charge and be able to confidently set a price for now in your business. And if this was helpful, I would love for you to leave a review on iTunes. Remember to subscribe to this podcast wherever it is that you are listening to it from, and we will talk again real soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.